Good morning and welcome to Whimsical Wednesday. A special thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you so much. Today I wanted to share with you some of the colored pencils that I have and just a few of the colorings that I've done in the past. I don't do colored pencils so much anymore because of a hand injury, but I do miss it, and it's certainly a wonderful hobby, and hopefully I'll be able to get back into it in the future. But right now I just want to show you some of these beautiful pencils that I have. Let's see, well, I can start with Derwent Color Soft. This is a beautiful set. And then I have Faber-Castell. This is a Polychromos set. Beautiful set of colored pencils. And then I have a beautiful set of Koh-i-Noor. And these are actually woodless. These beautiful colors, and I consider these self-sharpening. You can use a pencil sharpener, however, it's really not necessary. If you turn the pencil as you're coloring, the point wears down naturally. So these are this is a lovely set, and these work very well. So I'm very happy with these, very pleased. But I think the first set that I started with was the Prismacolor. And let me open this up. I have several colors here. This is part of a different set, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yes, I like the Prismacolor. I think this is a blending tool, but it's colorless, this one. But I didn't find that it worked that well for me. But these pencils, they do blend very well naturally, and I've tried them out. But as you can see, some of them are fairly worn down, and I actually have this just in case I want to add it as an extender. Yeah. I have one here as well that I've already used this one. I believe I got this one from my dad. This is an old one. It's an antique. So yeah, I like having that one. And I just wanted to say that these colored pencils are part of a set, and it's called Crayola Twistables. Now, because I'm left-handed, I found that it created a problem with the spiral mechanism. These you have to twist up. And because I'm left-handed, and I think the repetitive motion of circling tended to unwind that mechanism, because I found that after a few strokes, the point would retract back into the casing. Now I did a little test, and I tried it with my right hand, and I found that did not happen. So it's not the pencil, it's just the point that I'm left-handed, which created the problem. And I really do like these a lot, but because it kept retracting, it was a real pain to use these, a real pain in the butt. But I did like these very much. So if you are left-handed, just be aware of that. You may have the same issue that I had. If you're right-handed, this is an excellent set. There are many more colors. This is just a partial set. I think there are 24 maybe in the whole set, and they're not that expensive. So yeah, the Crayola Twistables, very good set. So now I want to share with you a few of the little books that I've done, a few colorings. This was one of the first ones, Color Me Happy. It's called Portable Color Me Happy. And I liked it because it was small enough so that I could just pop it into a tote bag and carry it with me with a set of pencils. And Lucy McClough, she illustrated by Angela Porter. Together they made a beautiful set of illustrations, and they have some wonderful tips in here about coloring and some ideas for you to go ahead and do these beautiful pictures. And I started, but I didn't really get too far. I think initially I used this as a journal, and I started here in 2016, and carried it through as long as I worked with it. Here I had Marco Raffine and Crayola pencils. So I tend to date things when I do them, because I don't know, I get into these periods, I'll do a little bit of color penciling, and then I'll do a little bit of watercolor, and then I'll pop into something else. But I think I might even have a little pastel coloring. It says Prismacolor, but I think in some cases I did, like for instance, this for sure is pastel. So I really enjoyed this book. I bought it from Joanne Fabrics, which is no longer in existence. They went out of business. But I remember the day that I bought this. Yeah, and I'll have some more here. But I did not complete the book. I just did a few and then went on to a different book, which I'll show you in a minute. And again, she has some excellent examples of how to fill these in. So I have this book here, which is Johanna Basford's Enchanted Forest. And I believe she has another book prior to this, The Secret Garden. And this, I think, was her second book. But of course, she's made a lot of other books. I haven't purchased any of her other books, but I did buy The Secret Garden. But for some reason, it did not really appeal to me as much as this one. So I preferred to have this book, and I did a few. I didn't do a whole lot, but I did a few. And she has some wonderful designs in here. I did the tree, and there was enough space so that I could use my imagination at times to fill in the backgrounds. For instance, here I made the diamond shape to fill in the background. And she has several 2-page spreads, which are very nice. These, the owl, the squirrel. And here I tried the color blending. I had a lot of fun with that. That's an art in itself. I tell you, I've seen some beautiful color pencil artists, and they do amazing things with colored pencils. Here I just drew a square, and then I filled it in the background with gray to offset the green leaves. Yeah, I would say I had a lot of fun with this book. I drew the mountains in the background. And in this one, I drew the bamboo. Now, I love bamboo, but it's a very invasive plant. And I am unable to put that in my backyard, because if I did, within a few years, my backyard would be covered with it. So I cannot plant bamboo, but I love it. It's beautiful. And here I drew the pyramid. Some more animals. And this one was fun. The treasure chest. I added more of the wood-like boards to it. And I believe I added that opening and the lock, the top of the lock, and the background. And let's see, a few more in here. This one here, sometimes I would take a photocopy of a page and decide what I would like to do with it. And in this case, for instance, I wanted to draw a brick wall behind the tree. And here I had another tree growing up out from behind it. But I didn't get that far. But that was my plan, to add to the space, to fill it in. And I did that in a few places. And here I added the fishbowl to this picture. Next one, I added the nest and the wooden beam and the S-hook. And she had a partial chain, so I just filled in the rest of it. And then this one, for the lock, I took a picture and I wanted to add some rings to it. And then I was going to have a wood paneling for the background. But that was my idea. I just never got around to it. And I think I have one more in here, the door. Yes, I practiced some shading with this picture. That was a lot of fun. So this is a beautiful book, and I believe it's still available online. And then I have this lovely nature book. And if you like nature as much as I do, you will really, really enjoy this book. It is filled with birds, flowers, insects, animals. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And the thing about coloring, the picture's already there. You don't have to draw anything. You don't have to plan it. It's there. It's there. You just have to fill it in. And that's the beauty of coloring. So again, I did not complete this book. I have some things. Let's see, I did the dragonfly. And this book also has some nice 2-page spreads. You can really use your imagination and go wild with this. Let's see, what else? Oh, some beautiful shells. Now, I'm here on the East Coast, and we do not have starfish or shells like this. I'm lucky if I can find a shell that's not broken. But if you go to the West Coast of Florida, there's more of a selection of shells over there. But I haven't been there recently, so I'm not sure. It may have changed over the years. But the best time to look for shells on the East Coast is before or after a hurricane. Then you can find some interesting shells that have come up with the surf. Here I have some butterflies. I think I have another page somewhere of butterflies. Yeah, here. I just love butterflies. They're such a beautiful insect. And I don't know that I really did too much more in this book. The rose. But it is a beautiful book. And as I said, the picture's already there. All you have to do is color it in, which is the beauty of coloring. Here I did the border, and here I started with the moose and the flower. So it was a nice adventure for me to do some coloring, but now, unfortunately, I cannot do it because of the injury to my thumb joint. And if I do that repetitive motion, it just irritates that, and it's very painful. So I have set aside my coloring books and my colored pencils for now, but I do hope to start this process once again in the future. Maybe my hand will feel better, and will heal a little bit more, and then I'll be able to tackle coloring again in the future. That'll be nice. So I hope that you've enjoyed this time, and I really am grateful that you do take the time to spend with me and share my interests in these videos. So thank you so much. And again, have a wonderful day and have a blessed day. Thank you so much.